Birmingham Regional. They went 26-5 overall during the season, 18-2 in the Ohio Valley Conference. They were the OVC regular season and tournament champions. Joined today by head coach Kim Roseman and student athletes Anna Walker and Peyton Carter. Coach, if you would please make an opening statement.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and get this out of the way really quick so I don't have to answer any more questions about it. Due to their high demand media requests these days, Dolly and Dean will not be attending the press conference. They weren't able to come to Columbia, so we are going to let Champ have his day. Dean was looking forward to marking his territory, but we're going to let Champ have his day. So, no, seriously, great to be in Columbia. Excited to be on this stage with our two fifth-year seniors, Anna Walker and Peyton Carter. Proud of everything that we have accomplished thus far in this season. It's been a historic season at Tennessee Tech, and there's a lot of history at Tennessee Tech in women's basketball. And I'm really proud of what this team has accomplished. 17 straight wins, and in order for us to get here, you not only have to have a great regular season, you've got to go win the tournament, and that's a hard thing to do. And what these kids have accomplished, it's hard to do, and so very, very proud of them. We understand the challenge ahead. We understand the assignment ahead. We understand what a great opponent we're going to be facing tomorrow at 4 p.m. But we are also excited, and we embrace the opportunity.
And with that, we'll open up for questions just for the student athletes at this time. If you would, please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. And we'll go with Pete in the front row first.
For Peyton and Anna, what is this like, and how do you keep yourselves, calm and focused at this moment, knowing you're going up against the defending national champions?
Anna, you want to take that first?
Yeah, I can. First off, like you said, we're really excited, and this is a huge stage for us, and we're just pumped for the opportunity that we have at hand. And I think just looking around the room and just going back and just knowing that we're playing for each other is what keeps us calm.
Peyton?
Yeah, I think, too, we have great leaders on this team, Anna, myself, Reagan Grimes, Reagan Hurst. We've kind of been here before, different, team, different time a couple years ago, but we've been here before, and we're excited that our team has worked really hard to get to this point. So we were making sure everyone, we're all excited, but, stay calm, do our thing, and just have fun and embrace the moment.
Let's go to the second row on the right.
Hey, Andy Mathis with USA Today Sports, sorry. What does it mean to this team that the Cookeville community is bought into you guys? Like 20 wins, 17 wins straight, and it seems like they're coming out to support. What does that mean to this team?
Peyton, you want to take that first?
Yeah. Well, when we get recruited to come to Tennessee Tech, they tell us that the community is like no other, and you hear about it, but once you get there, and I've been in Cookeville for 5 years, you really feel it, and it's just a staple for Tennessee Tech. The community, everybody around it, alums, it's just such a family, and we travel big, we travel loud, and it's just awesome to have that support.
Anna?
Yeah, our community is everything. We have a Hall of Famer sitting here with us right now, but I think that just the support that we have, and just seeing this past week how many people have showed up for us, supported us just through the selection show, winning the championship last week, it's been really awesome, and just it makes you feel a lot of gratitude for where you're at. Mm-hmm.
Michael?
For both of you, you mentioned how you guys have been here before. You were in the tournament a couple years ago. How do you kind of take, positives from that experience and try to, apply them to this game tomorrow?
Anna, you want to go first?
Yeah, I think that, like Peyton said, 4 of us, including the coaching staff, we've been here before. So we know how loud it's going to be. We know the excitement of how we're going to feel whenever we step on that court. But like we said in a past question, just staying calm, that's going to be something really huge for us tomorrow.
Yeah, a couple of us have experienced this before, so we understand, and even in before conference gets to going, we play bigger schools, I would say, and just we've played against that pace and the difference of mid-major and Power 4, but yeah, the pace is different, but we just going to play our game. We just keep reminding each other just what makes us go, what makes us good, what has been our what's got us to 17-0 right now, and so we just got to stick to that, and we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
For both of y'all, obviously you're aware of the attendance records that South Carolina brings in and the environment, but what advantages does it have being the team that isn't playing in front of home court, obviously in the NCAA opener?
Peyton?
Well, I mean, I guess we're the 16 seed coming in and playing the 1, so we understand what that is just in itself. But it's pretty cool. The Hooper Edlin Center holds a lot of people too, and we've packed that place pretty good. But yeah, this is going to be awesome. We've practiced all week with crowd noises in practice, so we're trying to prepare for that. But yeah, it's just gonna be a great test for us. You know, how we are such a connected team on the court anyway. So this will be awesome for us to just stick together, huddle, eye contact, everything. It'll be big, but we're excited for it.
Yeah, I think the opportunity is really awesome. Like, we're getting to play against the defending national champions, so that's not something a lot of people get to say. So I think that we understand that moment, and we understand and kind of know what to expect going in tomorrow. But, yeah, I mean, the attendance record, there's really nothing else you can say about it, but it's going to be really awesome, and we're excited.
Go to second row.
Dylan Clearfield with USA Today Sports. This team, obviously, something changed when 2024 turned to 2025, 17 straight wins, 0 losses at home. What can you say about that change? What led to this success so far this season?
Anna?
Yeah, I think that we kind of had a come to Jesus moment on January 9th, and we all kind of realized, okay, we all need to get on the same page. We knew we were bought in, but we knew that it was going to take another step for us to get to what we wanted in the end, and ultimately that was a championship. But I think our practices changed, our just focus to the mission changed, and I think that that's what ultimately led us to where we are now.
Yeah. I think, too, we had a lot of new faces on our team, and it takes a while to, get the camaraderie right within the team. And, we had a couple really good games in the beginning. Then we would have a heartbreaker, like, just a gut-wrench loss. And then we'd have a few good wins. And then we had that last one against EIU. Yeah. And like Anna said, we sat together, yes, as a team, but just as us players. And we looked at each other in the eyes, and we know in that locker room how much talent we have. But we knew that we need to hold ourselves and each other's accountable because we had such great potential, as you can see where we are here now. So we just had to be able to look at each other in the eye and be like, I'm going to give it all for you. I know what I need to do, what my role is on the team, and we all just completely bought in to each other and are just, when, like you say, when teams that go far, it's because they don't want to quit playing with each other, and that's really what this team stands for right now.
Chaz?
Chaz Frazier from the ABC station here in Columbia. For both the players, you guys talked about your success, 17 wins to close out the season. Describe the mindset it takes going against a team like South Carolina to channel that success and bring it into the NCAA tournament and play free and loose. What type of mindset does that take?
Yeah, I mean, it's important to know that we know what leads us to success. Our formula for success is what we call it. So we knew coming into this tournament that we're playing with the best of the best here. This is what this tournament is about. So we knew we were going to get matched up with a good team, and to be able to say we're playing against South Carolina, this is an amazing opportunity. But, we want to stick to our formula and do what we do, and what we do at an elite level. And when we come out with that, just stick together, do our formula, play with each other and play for each other. And that's what we can control.
Yeah.
I think our biggest thing is just staying true to who we are, and I think that it's brought us to this moment. So why would we shy away from it now? And I think that coming in tomorrow, we don't need to come in with our head down. We need to play with confidence still, no matter who we're playing. And I think that, like Peyton said, just stick to our formula. Obviously, it's got us to where we are.
Second row.
Yeah, so obviously it's been a little while since Tennessee Tech played South Carolina, 1989, I believe. Have you guys talked at all as a team, just out of curiosity, about what went right that game or things to do or anything like that?
No, we haven't. We just try to focus on the moment now and just kind of what we've done this season. I think last time that they played them, it was a whole lot different. So there's not much that's the same anymore. So, no, we haven't.
Yeah, what Anna said. We have not talked about it at all. We saw it, but we have not talked about it.
Let's go to second row there.
You're both fifth-year student athletes. Talk about the decision you guys had, especially in this era, the transfer portal, to come back and represent the university another year.
Peyton, go first, please.
Like I said in the earlier question, Tennessee Tech and the community and the coaching staff, the team, Mark Wilson, everybody affiliated with Tennessee Tech is just, it's a family. And I think the COVID year is amazing, how awesome it is that we got another opportunity to play the sport that we love with the people we love. But yeah, we won our conference and we had an extra year. And last year it didn't end the way we wanted it to end. We were kind of unsatisfied, and Anna and I were kind of like, we got to run it back. We got to come back and do it again. And so it's been awesome. No regrets. We've had an amazing year with an amazing team, and I'm just very grateful to be here.
Yeah, this program has absolutely changed my life. I mean, you look around at the people that are in this room, the girls that are in that locker room, I would not trade this year for anything in the world. So just being able to, again, like Peyton said, have that extra year to come back and play. We weren't satisfied with how it ended last year, and we didn't want to end our basketball career on that. So why would we not come back to this awesome program with these awesome coaches and great people in the locker room?
Anything else for the student athletes? Got one more here on the right.
So this team's scoring is all very balanced. How does that make this team difficult to beat in the tournament and also different from previous teams from Tennessee Tech?
Anna?
Yeah, I think that it can be someone different any given night, and I think that we have proved that all year long. But that's something different. I haven't really been a part of a team like that before, so it's been really cool to see just like the selflessness that has come of that. I don't care if I have 20 points or 0, just as long as the team wins, and I think that just goes back to the buy-in of what we want to accomplish, and, I mean, it proves so.
I think, too, a lot of the tougher teams to scout as a defensive end are the teams that are, kind of evenly distributed about 6, 7 players. So that's us. I think literally what Anna said, any given night, any given quarter, it could be anybody's quarter, and that's what's, how we stand out. And like Anna said, we're a very selfless team. We fuel off the defensive end. We always count stops and not scores, and that leads to a fast-paced offense, and it's fun to play fast-paced when, it could be anybody's night, and we always find the hot hand. It's fun to hype up a teammate who's hot that night, and even if I'm hot one night, on a Thursday, Saturday, it could be Anna's night, and it's the most fun thing. Everybody's bought in, our bench, coaches, everybody. It's just so fun to have a team of such selflessness.
Let's open it up for questions for Coach Rosemond at this time.
Do you guys really need me at this point, right? They've done such a great job.
Let's go with Lulu in the middle there.
Kim, for you, earlier today, Dawn was kind of talking about how she's known you for a while. I know that you spent some time at Vanderbilt and that you played at Ole Miss. I'm just curious your relationship and kind of how it led to, sending the nameplate.
Yeah, well, 19 years in the SEC. Obviously 5 of those were as a player at Ole Miss. And, Dawn and I are close to the same age. Dawn was leaving Virginia when I was coming into Ole Miss, so never got to play against her. But she was someone, I sure won't sit up here and say I modeled my game after her because I was nowhere near the player that she was. But what I loved about Dawn was her toughness, the way she led her teams. And she was always, we didn't have the media coverage back then that we do now. So you might get 1 or 2 games a year where you get to watch. But I can remember watching Dawn coming out of high school and the admiration that I always had for her. And then obviously she went on to a long career as a pro and then went to Temple. And then when she came here to South Carolina, I was an assistant at Vanderbilt at the time with Melanie Balcom, who came and worked with Dawn during her national championship, I think the first national championship in 2017. And from the first year, obviously, she had to revamp that roster. And back in those days, it took you 3 and 4 years to do that. There was no such thing as a transfer portal. But what struck me that first year that she came and took over, and they were riddled with injuries. I think she only had 5 or 6 kids down the stretch that were even able to play, but just how tough they were. Even though, maybe the talent was nowhere near what it is right now, the toughness and the discipline was already there from the get-go, and you knew it was going to be special. And what I love so much about what they've done now is I think they've done it, as well or better than anybody right now, taken modern day basketball, the speed, the size, the skill, the transfer portal, NIL. I mean, that's something you have to manage every single day, but still blending it with the honor of the old school toughness and discipline. I love the way our teams play. I love the way they honor the game. I love the way they respect the game. I love the way they respect the opponent. I've known Lisa for a long, long time. If we have a common opponent, Lisa's always someone that I'll call and get advice from. When you're in the hiring process, who better to call than those guys? So just tremendous respect on my end for what Dawn and her staff has built here.
Let's go over to the left. Your question?
Yeah, first of all, welcome to Columbia. And just kind of wanted to ask you, what have Anna and Peyton kind of meant to your program, not just this year, but collectively as a whole during their time?
Well, I think there was a question earlier I wanted to jump in on, but I didn't. They asked about the difference in this year, and these are two of the reasons why sitting right here by me. There were about 3 or 4 more in that locker room that I would have loved to brought up here with me, and I also want to mention Reagan Grimes and her leadership, but the leadership that Anna Walker and Peyton Carter have given this team. As a coach, you can only lead when people want to follow and when people buy in, and it started with these two guys. And it started when we were on the bus home last year. I think it was, I've kind of forgotten the date now, but I think it was somewhere around March the 8th or 9th. And we had just lost in the quarterfinals of the OVC tournament. And like they said, it was a disappointing year, and it was disappointing for me anytime you feel like your team underachieves, because that's your responsibility as a coach. But we had won it the year before, had a lot of talent back, and I just wasn't able to press the right buttons. But when these guys committed to coming back, I knew we would have a chance. And then with Reagan Grimes and Reagan Hurst, who, we lost a big piece of our team with Reagan Hurst when she went down in October, but her leadership has still really been solid. But the leadership within our locker room has been special. And I've coached for 25 years now, been part of an SEC championship, 2 Sweet 16s, a lot of NCAA tournaments. But I don't know that I've ever had 2 better leaders than what I have sitting up here with me right now. And you guys just heard them, and I know you understand why. So the leadership, number one, the unselfishness of this basketball team has been really, really special. Like Peyton said, we've got 6 players that average in double figures, and nobody cares who gets theirs on any given night. This team prioritizes winning, and in this day and age, it is really hard to get 12 to 15 young people in an era where with social media it's all about them, but to get a group of young women to prioritize winning above everything else, when you have that, how rare that is. And this team has done it as well as any team that I've ever been part of.
Pete.
Cam, you've mentioned South Carolina's toughness, their discipline, their skill. I'm sure at this point you've watched reams of film to prepare for this game. How do you start to break them down?
Well, I think, Pete, you just said it. That's how you have to approach it. We're reading a book together. The Obstacle is the Way. It's a great book and a lot of life lessons in it. And one of the things it talks about is an algebra equation. And I don't know about you guys, but I hate math, and it is overwhelming to me. And so when I look at an algebra equation, it's like, oh my goodness. But you learn to break it down, right? You learn to break it down in parts. And that's what we've got to do. We can't look at it as a 40-minute assignment. We understand that it is, but we've got to break it down into 8 5-minute segments and focus on those first 5 minutes. And it's like our head football coach, Bobby Wilder, he was the head coach at Old Dominion who upset Virginia Tech, I think back in the 2016-17, and Virginia Tech was, I think, in the top 10. A huge was a huge upset. And Bobby said, you got to treat it like a heavyweight match and just break it up. And that's what we're going to do, and you hang in and you try in those first couple rounds. You don't get knocked out. You got to avoid getting knocked out in those first couple rounds. I have full confidence, that our kids are going to come in and that they've not backed down from a challenge all year. And we understand. We understand who they are, but we also understand who we are. And we can't forget that. And we talked about that this morning. We can't walk in here and let the crowd make us forget who we are. Let South Carolina and their talent and how good they are make us forget who we are. And we've got to take it, and break it down in those 8 5-minute segments and be us as much as we can be tomorrow.
Second row.
Yeah, I'm actually going to change my question. I know you just touched on it a little bit. You just talked about the obstacles, the way. Is that something that the whole team is reading? Was that like kind of a team event thing, or was that something that you personally just pushed?
No, it's the whole team. In fact, managers, everybody's reading it. That is part of who our program is. It's part of who we are. Obviously, we get to teach basketball, but most of all, we get to teach life lessons through basketball. And so teaching our young women, this is just it's a preface to their life. That's the great thing about sports is you learn how to handle adversity. You learn how to overcome challenges. You learn how to buy into something that is bigger than yourself. And I actually started reading that book right around the time of our last loss at Eastern Illinois. And there were some things that we needed to overcome, some obstacles in our way that we had to overcome to become champions. And it's my job to guide the ship. I hadn't made a bucket all year. I hadn't made a steal all year. I hadn't made a rebound all year. It's these young women that have gotten us to where we are. But it is also my job to help guide them when those moments get tough and to prepare them. And that's what I've got to do for tomorrow. Yeah, look, basketball, we make it hard, but it's really simple. We've got to defend, we've got to rebound, and we've got to take care of the basketball. Now, that's going to be much harder tomorrow than it's been all season. But we've got to just make sure mentally that they understand and they're ready to embrace that moment. So when we do get in that, and basketball is a game of runs. South Carolina is going to have runs. We plan to have runs tomorrow as well. But when those runs do come, you can't let your emotions get the best of you. Your feelings will lie to you. And so we've got to make sure that we have prepared them for when those moments come and that they're ready to meet the moment.
Stand in the second row there.
Hey, so obviously you talked about you've known Coach Staley for a while, her dogs, everything like that. Here in Columbia now, in the place that Coach Staley coaches all of her games the past 15 years, have you seen Columbia become a mecca of women's basketball, similar to how Storrs has been seen the past decade or two?
No question. And look, I've been really fortunate to be in this game. I don't think I'm old enough yet to call myself a lifer, but I'm getting there. But I've been in this game at this level since I was 18 years old, and I grew up in the 80s. I played college basketball in the 90s, and when you talk about the 90s, and I was in the SEC for a real long time. You talk about Tennessee and Pat Summitt and what they did, and then you go to the 2000s and UConn and what they did and what they're continuing. Obviously what they're continuing to do, but what Dawn has done over the last 6 to 10 years is absolutely incredible. And and I'm not real sure when this building opened. I was trying to think when we pulled up here today. I believe that, what was it, 2000? Yeah, 2000. Yeah, so I've obviously played here, but to pull into this building and walk in and to see, and I know tomorrow it's going to be electrifying. I know Terry and Indiana are here with us, and 2 years ago we were at Assembly Hall, and I remember I've had a lot of moments in this game as a player and assistant coach, obviously playing at Tennessee. We played at UConn in the NCAA Tournament when Breanna Stewart was a freshman and they were undefeated, and what an incredible environment that was. Indiana was an incredible environment. I haven't been back to this environment since it has become what has become over the course of the last 6 to 7 years, but I watch it on TV. And I have enough friends in the SEC that are still coaching that all tell me what an electrifying atmosphere this is, and how exciting that's going to be part of that tomorrow. But I was also struck, you mentioned Columbia. Columbia's grown a lot since I was here 9 or 10 years ago. But that is also what sports in a university can do for a community. And that is what Dawn and women's basketball has done for Columbia, has done for South Carolina, but has also done for the game of women's basketball. Dawn has now become, the torchbearer, so to speak, for the college game. And it's been really cool to watch her grow and embrace that over the years as well. As we've lost some legends in our game, obviously losing Pat, and then Tara retiring, and several more, that have stepped away from the game. But Dawn's doing it as well as anybody in the game today.
Sort of going exactly off of that, you've talked about, and there's obviously a lot more kind of expansion of women's basketball. Now there's more eyes, the units coming into play this year. How have you just sort of managed conversations, whether that's with your team or just with peers, when conversations about women's basketball in 2025 is brought up, but sort of ignoring the history? You talk about basketball in the 80s and 90s, sort of the foundational pieces that a lot of people who are just tuning in don't really know, but are essential when looking at the present and the future.
Well, we don't ignore the history. We talk about the history of our game, weekly within our program, because it is so special to me. I wouldn't be sitting here today if there were not people that blazed a trail before us. One of those is in the room right now, Dr. Diane Murphy, who was a long-time athletic director, Division I athletic director at Denver, at Columbia. We were just sitting at dinner talking last night, and look at the Ivy League, and getting 3 teams in, and Dr. Murphy played a huge part in that. And so we got to sit and talk for 45 minutes, and she was telling me about, when the athletic directors of the Ivy League got together and made a commitment and decided that they were going to make a change and move the needle forward. So it's women like that love this game, and again, that are lifers, and that have given so much to this game, that young women like Anna and Peyton, and older women like myself, get to sit up here and now enjoy the platform that we're playing on. So I think it is so important. It's I talked about my job as a coach guiding the ship, but it's also my job as a coach and a woman and a professional that loves women's basketball to keep paying it forward and passing down those history lessons to make sure those that came before us are never forgotten.
Great answer. Anything else, Coach? All right. Thank you all for coming. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.